This is our audience.
Including yourself.
Including.
Okay. According to Donate, 100,000 men, women, and children currently need saving organ transplants. If another name is added to the list. There is an average of who die each day from a shortage of organ transplants. Being that there are so many people waiting for available organs, it is an organ donor. Anyone can be a potential donor regardless of age, race, or medical history, and all major religions in the United States support organ, eye, and tissue donation and see it as a final act. In order for a person to become an organ donor, blood and oxygen must flow through the organs until the time of recovery to ensure viability. This requires that a person die under circumstances that have resulted in an error, usually from a massive trauma to the brain, such as an aneurysm, stroke, or automobile accident. Only after all efforts to save the patient's life have been exhausted, tests are performed and confirm the absence of brain or brainstem activity. And only when brain death has been declared is a donation a possibility. The state donor registry is then searched to determine if the patient has personally consented to donation. If the potential donor is not found on the registry, his or her legal guardian or authorized representative, usually a spouse, relative, or close friend, is offered the opportunity to vision is established. The family is asked to provide medical and social history. Donation professionals determine which organs can be transplanted and to which patients on the national transplant waiting list. Because a person can only be a donor under these circumstances, it is very important for everyone to register. That way, everyone who is deceased can help save lives, and the number of potential organ transplants will rise drastically. There are hundreds of thousands of people on organ waiting lists who will die before getting a transplant. When you're on a waiting list for an organ, what really counts is the severity of your illness, not time spent waiting, blood type, and other important medical information, not your financial status or your celebrity status. According to the ethical solutions in the United States, 18 people die every day waiting for an organ donation that never comes. In 2010 alone, over 9,000 patients died or became too ill to undergo surgery while waiting for an organ, or to be a living organ donor in our day. Living organ donors can donate a kidney, a portion of the liver, lung, intestine, or pancreas. Almost 90% of people who die are in need of organs that could have been donated by living donors with relative safety. An overwhelming majority were waiting for a kidney transplant, the modern surgical procedure, which involves an average hospital stay of 3 days for the living donor. There is no reason for anyone to not be a deceased donor because there are no negative consequences when being a deceased organ donor. Deceased organ donors can give kidneys, pancreas, liver, lungs, heart, and intestinal organs. No cost to the family, and the bodies are handled with many lives, being that each of us has several organs that can be transferred to other humans can save several lives, up to 8 lives for each deceased person. In 2010 alone, there were 28,665 successful organ transplants performed. It is easy and cost-free to become an organ donor. You can register to be a deceased donor simply by renewing your driver's license. You can also register to be a living or deceased donor at local hospitals or online through several nonprofit organ donation. Transplantation is one of the most remarkable success stories in the history of medicine. But despite continuing advances in medicine and technology, the need for organs and tissue is vastly greater than the number available for transplantation. Transplantation gives hope to thousands of people with organ failure and provides others with active and renewed lives. Statistics can sometimes be overwhelming and difficult to understand. One thing to remember is that every number in the statistic you view is a person who either needs help and is waiting for a life-saving transplant, or a person who has left a legacy through organ or tissue donation. Either way, each number represents a life, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, or a child, someone who is important to someone else, or maybe even to you.